Hello, beautiful artist. I'm Kelly Hernig, and welcome to In the Studio. Today I wanted to share my 5 tips about painting daily for 122 days. This is how it all starts. I gather something in a tray. It is nature, it is things that I'm interested in and things that I find, and I just put it in one spot. That way I can kind of come in and dig through here and see what I want to do and what I want to paint. It's really that easy. You can have a little basket on your table, a little box. I choose to have these little tin trays, but I have a stack of these trays. Some have paper, some have fabric, some have nature, some have stickers, buttons, whatever I can find. So it's a way to just make it easy for yourself, because if you have a basket of things you already love and you've put them on your table, you know where to go for them. And I think that's a great thing. And that's tip number 1, use what you have, right? It's a great way to do something. Then I have a specific palette. You know my journey with this 45 color palette. I have loved it so far. I made some changes earlier in the year, but right now it is perfect for me. I've got the right balance of colors between dark and light and pastels, and it's serving me well. That is what I've used for this whole journal so far, and I am loving having a color palette that suits me so well. Then I have my one brush that I always use, the Princeton Long Round number 8 Aqua Elite. It is my favorite, and I use it on just about everything. And then there's my sketchbook. You can see it's a tiny one. It's as big as my hand, but it's a fat one, right? I will be able to do a whole year in here, and that's something that I really wanted. I asked Deanna to do a special sketchbook with like a 96 pages so that I would make sure that I could go all year with that. And I'm going to show you how I've done that so far. So let me clear my desk and we'll go through it. I wanted something small that I could do daily exercises in. If I have a bigger sketchbook, that means that I have to think more. It can also mean that a lot of small things are going to look very tiny on the page. So I tend to like something about the size of my hand. It just makes it easier for me to use the things that I like to collect. Remember, my things are smaller. As you can see here, a button, a little trio of leaves. I've got another button. I've got some string, a playing card. I've got a piece of fabric. I mean, I've got a lot of different things in here. I've even got some paint chips that I used for my colors. But these are the things that I use for inspiration. So I know that I'm going to need a sketchbook that isn't too big so that my pieces will get lost in them. I want them to fit nicely so that I can just lay them on my page like this, take a pencil and draw around them. That's usually what I do. You know, I've got a playing card in here. I just trace around it. No drawing necessary. If I bring a leaf in from the yard, like I picked up a leaf when I was on vacation, this is a magnolia leaf, it will eventually be in my book. And again, I will just lay it down, take my mechanical pencil and trace it. I believe tracing will get me there faster, and I don't want to be nervous about drawing something. I just want to lay it down, trace around it, and go. Some people consider that cheating. I do not. I consider it part of my everyday, and it makes it easier and less stressful for me, which is just what I wanted. So I've done 122 days so far. So that's January 1st through May 2nd, and I'm going to take you on the journey. You'll see that the colors are consistent because of my palette, which makes it really great. And I would also suggest picking a palette you haven't used in a while and let that be the colors you use for a month. It will give your sketchbook uniformity and harmony because of the color palette you're using. So like a palette like this, it's going to give you a lot of harmony because you're using the same colors over and over and over again. So whatever you decide to use, whether it's the blues or the greens or the more flesh tone colors, they're going to all go together because they fit on a palette. And that's why I said use something that you haven't used for a while, because it will make you think differently about the color choices that you're using. And I like that as an artist. I like having options to explore and see what new colors there are. So as I began my journey, I just wanted them to be unexpected. So I took it, day 1 is the apple, day 2 is the leaf, day 3 is the pencil, day 4 is the owl. I want it simple and attainable for myself. I don't want each painting to take 20 to 30 minutes. I want to come in, pick a subject, paint it, and be done within 10 minutes, really. That's about all I have for something like this kind of exercise. As you see, I'm trying to follow the design here, so it takes you on a kind of journey. I didn't do it straight like this. And you can see here it comes down and then it goes up again. And you'll notice that different things are different sizes and shapes, right? I have a tiny little palette here, but then I've got this big square tag here. I've got this really long leaf here. I've got a little button. I've got a tiny brush. See how skinny that is? So all of those different elements are what you want. It makes your page more interesting. If they were all the same shape, it becomes boring, whether they're colored or patterned different ways. It's a repetition. So try to be different in size and shape and color. This one I really liked. So when I started up here, so my next page is going to start there, and then I kind of moved it down around. And you can see I started bold up here. I really like that acorn. I have a purple acorn like that. It's just like an eggplant color and I love it. So I try to include it in a lot of different stuff. And here's me being playful. This is a Tinker toy that I put a little pussy willow branch in. It's just something different that you don't normally see or you wouldn't expect. And it's kind of, as you're looking, you're like, is that a Tinker toy? Right? It just makes me smile. And then again, the design comes up and around. That's the color chart of my palette that I'm using. And I do try to put that inside somewhere. Usually it's at the start of my book, but because I was reworking this, I wanted to make sure that my colors were correct. This is the correct palette now. And so I felt like I could start one in there, put one in there. And you could see this was February, so the Olympics were going on, and I love the Olympics, so I had to include that. This is also my word for the year, roots and wings, and I just really love putting that in there. It's a part of me, and I want to remember that in 2026, that was my words. Those were my palettes. The Olympics happened. Everything that pertains to me. This week was all about Valentine's Day. You see all the little hearts everywhere, and I just like to remember that. I was really inspired by this leaf that I found in the ground. It was really ugly, but yet I liked the shape of it. It seemed like it would be found in the woods and things would be growing around it and being supported by it. So there I've got the little beehive. I've got these little mushrooms stuck on the top. I just really like the way it looks like flattened moss, like something you would find on a woodland floor. And I really was intrigued by that. I've got a little duck on a pencil here, just a palette card. And you can see it's just everyday little small things. Nothing is too big. I am trying to work on layering, so think about things going over one another. So like the stem here goes over this palette. I've got these kind of overlapping. Here I've got a button overlapping a tag, overlapping a heart, which overlaps this flower. Again, a little it's actually like a fortune that I have a hole punched in it so the leaf would go through it. But you'll see that stacking something is what I'm trying to achieve this year as well. So make my compositions more interesting by making them more of an element. So this looks like one element instead of 4 different things. And if you can start doing that, your pieces become a little more visually stimulating because you're trying to figure out, is that one piece? How did she do that? Why did she put them all together like that? And I just like when you start questioning. Like, I love the idea of this going through where it goes through the hole and comes out the other side and you don't see the stem through there. So to me, that's kind of interesting. And I like when it's unexpected. You know, you don't think of seeing a hole with a stem going through it, but for me it's a normal thing that I think about, like, let's just add a hole or have it coming out of here, or adding mushrooms for no reason. It's just, it shows your personality a little bit. So if you can change things up, please do. It makes it more fun. This was something I was playing with for the 100-day project. I had painted this guy, these little billiard balls, the domino, and I just wanted to reiterate it into my book so that I could remember that I'm working on the 100 Days project. It's not in the same layout, but yet it gives me certain things. And look how fun it is, right? I've got them kind of stacked all up together here. And then here I kind of stretched it out. And I want you to think of just paint samples, right? Maybe you got a couple new colors. What a great way to showcase them. because of the color of this leaf, and I felt it was very bold and very strong, I wanted to use colors that I normally don't use. So I use kind of this deep blue turquoise. I use this more, it's called black coffee. And I like the idea of that it seems dirty and kind of grungy because it granulates, and it went really well with the darkness of this. So I love these three, the combination. And then I added this dark brown here, and it went with the dark brown around the button. But it's a different page for me. It's a different color scheme, and I enjoyed trying that. And then again, remember I talked about that card, just pulling it out. We've been seeing loons at the lake, so I wanted to include them. Pelicans. I've been loving the pelicans at the lake we go to about 20 minutes away from here. So I really kind of dedicated the whole page to the blue color and the color of his bill. It's kind of like a pinkish orange, so I pulled it together here and here, the writing, and then the blue of the lake. I didn't want to paint the lake, so what am I known for? Kind of leaves, right? So I just made a leaf all in blue so that it looks like he was sitting on water, and then I just continued the blue throughout the page, and I really love the way that this page turned out. And then here I had talked about wanting to play with grunge, so I did one in my book. Again, it had a hole, so I stuck the leaf twig through it. It's just something fun. I added a little playful charm, had it hang out of the hole, and then this is just a piece of paper with a button with a string, again another leaf with a staple. Now think of all the layering there. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces right in that little area, but when you look at it, it looks like one connected piece. I was looking through some old games, and I have a game where Alfred Hitchcock is I think it's called W-H-Y, and there was a card in there about Alfred Hitchcock, and it just looked really kind of cool. And then because I'm doing magazine headlines for my 100 Days project, I love the word lovely here, how that worked, and I thought these would work really good. And I want you to look at the color palette here, right? They're all kind of yellow and soft greens, and then the brown or the gray, and it just really goes nicely together. Again, I was having fun playing with fabric in the back, twine, a button, this. If you'll look, all of them are connected. This is on top of this. This is on top of this. The string is on top of this. The fabric in the background is behind this. The button is on top. The leaf overlaps, and then this hangs down. So I've made it one connective piece instead of individual items. If they were individual, what would have happened is they would have seemed a little more broken apart, where here it looks like a continuation. And I'm really trying to focus on that continuous line, that making something bigger than actually what it is. I mean, look how small that charm is, yet connected to this piece, it makes it feel much larger. This was a piece here that I wanted to just try blue and gold because the dandelions were blooming in the yard, and they're one of my favorite things. So having them connected with just blue and yellow and a little bit of brown. And again, look at the layerings, look how they're all connected, and it's telling a different story, which is what I'm really trying to do this year in my book as well, is tell a continuous story. For me, the daily painting, they are visual snapshots of my day, my week, my month. They're letting me relive my life over and over and over. And I want you to think about that, right? So I found a dandelion in the yard. I brought it in. These are a button from my friends, some cutout from my friends, my favorite quote, a piece from a sketchbook of one of my friends. So it's about good friends in my life in spring. And that's what I want to remember when I look at this page. Here I went on vacation. I went on an artist retreat. So I went from Midway to Orlando, and I wanted to just find a fun way to make my boarding pass. And so that's how I did it. Again, it's a way to relive my life in a new and fun way, connective, right? Storytelling. That's what I want. And this daily habit of connecting the things that I've found or selected or gathered or curated. This daily practice is making me bolder, and it's allowing me to try new things, objects, color combinations. I mean, look at all those different colors in there. But it's making me have a beautiful art habit as well, because I get to come in every day. I get to either find something new to paint, go through my little tray of trinkets, and just discover what I want to paint and what I'm inspired by. It's all really that easy. And I did want to share this little thing because it is a beautiful piece of fabric. So let me show you this. This here is this piece here. Now I want you to look at this fabric. This fabric is by Tim Holtz. My wonderful sister-in-law Mary made this for me. Isn't it gorgeous? This is the fabric, you guys. I know, it's just so lovely. So you can look for Tim Holtz. It is his multi-watercolor fabric, and I will leave a link for the fat quarters underneath in the video description box. There is also one with like individual colors. Think of a line of blue that says the colors, and then it's a line of red. It's just as gorgeous. But I wanted to share this with you because as watercolor people, we're always looking for beautiful fabric. And this is a bag that holds a 9x12 palette of paper, all my paints and my brushes. And I just think it's a beautiful thing, and I wanted to share that fabric with you. So as you can see, this daily habit, this beautiful fabric, the things that I collect, a special palette that I curated, it's all part of my art habit and the art of every day. Finding beauty in it, experimenting with it, and curating it into my sketchbook in some kind of way. I hope you were inspired by this video. I hope it gets you out collecting things that you love, see, find. And I hope you develop a habit of your own of making memories for yourself to look at over and over and over. If you haven't subscribed, please click the button. And as always, thanks so much for watching.